Okay, this is our third video on the focus exercise. The first two videos, we kind of went through the parameters of, or the structure to get the dog to understand what it needs to do. At this point, by the time you get to this video, when your dog sees another dog at the appropriate distance, your dog just sits down and looks up at the human. And it gives you an autofocus every time. Now what we do is, we have the triangular field of vision, and the path that the dogs are walking on is way over there, maybe 58 feet, 50 yards, whatever it is. So I'm going to start out here. As soon as we see a dog, we're going to do the focus exercise. And as soon as the dog leaves, goes on beyond our line of sight, then we're going to take 2 steps closer to the path. And we're going to stop, and we're going to keep practicing there until we get an autofocus every time the dog sees another dog. Then we're going to take 2 more steps. Now when you're doing this, these shouldn't be longer than like 5 to 7 minutes max, unless you're only having one dog come every 2 minutes or so. We want about 5 minutes worth of the actual focus exercise duration. Always end on a good one. So the dog has a success, it's getting dark, you're late, you got to go somewhere, or the dog's getting frustrated, you get a good one, great, we're done. We want the dog to always remember have a positive recollection of the exercise, so the next time they do it, they look forward to it. Now this is going to be a process where it's going to take you several days, but eventually you're going to get to the point where the path is right here and you're standing just right next to the path and sees another dog, just sits up and looks at you. So, but it's going to take time. If your dog reacts and lunges at another dog, you push too far, and that does damage to the progress that you're making. So it's better to err on the side of being more cautious than pushing too far. Also, it's important to note that the other dogs are going to impact the exercise. If you have a dog that's walking next to their guardian very calmly in a heel position, not pulling a leash, not barking, that's going to be very easy for your dog to process. Another dog comes by and it's like, walking, doing a wheelie, its front paws are up and it's being choked and it's barking and lunging everywhere, and that dog's going to provoke a stronger response from your dog. Mm-hmm. So measure it. If you're at a certain distance and one dog comes by like that, and it's the only dog that your dog can't deal with, then in the future when you see that dog coming, maybe you turn around and put your dog's back to that dog, and you do the focus exercise, keeping the dog not even looking so it doesn't see that dog, because that's kind of an aberration. Now eventually you'd like to, if you can maybe meet that person and say, hey, your dog is really full of beans, my dog is kind of reactive to dogs like that. Do you think you can go back and forth several times to help us practice? And then you focus on just that one exercise and maybe rearrange your schedule so you can come back and do the exercise at the same time it's convenient for them to walk their dog. But eventually you get to the point where the dog walks right next to you and is looking up at you and not paying attention to the other dog. And because the presence of the other dog comes with the dog receiving a high value treat, there's some positive association that happens there. The most beneficial thing though is we've established a new behavior pattern, but also the dog is nice and calm when it's doing it. Most dogs get the most trouble when they're overexcited, they're all worked up. So if we can just practice and help the dog learn that it's got to stay sitting and calm while it sees another dog to get that treat, eventually that's a new behavior they're going to follow. And then when you see other dogs on a walk, you're walking down the street, there's a dog approaching you, your dog just sits down and looks up at you. And you're like, yes, this is awesome. All right, so that's the conclusion of the focus exercise.